Welcome, everybody. It's March 21st. It's Sportsbook Review, and we're talking Major League Baseball today. I'm talking with Mark Lathrop once again, and we're picking up where we left off with Mark's SaberMetrics system. This is a team win total system that's been put together, and Mark brought it on to SBR 2 years back, was very, very successful, 76%, I believe I'm right, and then in the high 60s last year. So we broke down the National League. Today, we're going to touch on a few of the American League teams that might be overvalued, undervalued, or who possibly might have value that nobody's really taken a look at. So with that being said, Mark, great to have you back on with us. Let's get down into the East, AL East. What do you think about that division, and who might have an edge here?
Thanks, Mike. The AL East is a very competitive division. As we all know, the fourth place team, Yankees, won 84 games last year, so it's a pretty tough division to call because there's, a lot of teams can finish over 500. The best plays I'm seeing so far is under 92.5 for Boston. Basically, when you look year over year, you'll see that the model says they're going to win maybe 2 more games, but the public shifted the over-under win total 6 games. So all of a sudden they're an undercall instead of an overcall. And that's just one of those things. You want to track these from year to year and just see that line movement because the line movement is 12 months apart.
Mark, I had a question for you about Boston, if I may interject. All right, when they signed Chris Sale, do you think that had an effect also? I mean, I think it would. I actually think it might have overvalued this team.
Yeah, I don't know about Sale specifically. I can look him up, but basically that would be the only move that would bring them up those 2 games. But it doesn't consider injury. It doesn't consider the park factors of him coming in there. So I'd give him about 2 games, but as I said, the line shifted about 6. So it's a little bit of an overreaction, I would say.
Okay. How about the Baltimore Orioles? What's your feel on this team this year? Bucky Showalter feels like he's got a strong program. Do you feel the same? And how does that affect their win totals? What's that number sitting at?
Yeah, my projection are about 83 games, so about 500 club. That's actually a pass for me because it's within a 3 game of the line, which was 80.5. And if you think of a bell curve, about half of these teams will end up within 3 games of their projection. And then you have those outliers like Tampa Bay last year, with lost a ton of games when they were supposed to be around a 500 team. So they're a pass for me on the win totals, and actually they're also a pass for me on the division. I see a lot of value with the Yankees and Toronto, whether plus 400, plus 500 for division odds, when really they have as good a chance as Boston, who's sitting at minus 175. When you think about those dispersion of results, within 3 games of each other, and the Yankees are projected 88 games, Toronto's 88 games.
Okay, now moving on to the Central, is there anybody out there that's sticking their head out, or is there some sticking their head out saying, get the hell away from me?
Right. Well, according to my models, Cleveland's the team to beat in the Central. They're far and beyond the best team in that division. And it's kind of funny because the other 4 teams, in the bottom, was it Kansas City, Minnesota, actually Cleveland and Detroit are undercalls in my model. Cleveland's only an undercall, but because they're projected to win 95 games, and that's pretty close to their over/under. But that's really the team that's going to win that division, and I don't see taking any division wager is just good money after bad. And I would say Detroit, some of their offensive members are getting a little long in the tooth. So if there was an undercall in the Central, that would be Detroit for me.
And what was that number on Detroit? 85, did you say?
Detroit was 82.5.
82.5, okay.
Yeah, so, and you look at that, and their projected wins are about 4 different than Kansas City, and Kansas City has a 6-game less bar to cover. So
I totally agree with Detroit. I mean, they've got some guys getting old, and as they get older, all right, and long in the tooth, those injuries start creeping up, and they're the kind of little injuries that just don't leave and heal as quick. All right, with that being said, let's move on to the West. Who sticks their head out there? And do you think the Houston Astros might really, just have that solid year from day one?
Yeah, I think the Astros, this is their division to lose as well. They're projected to win, let's see, Uh, 94 games.
Wow.
And their over under at Bovado is 89.5. So their plus 120 odds to win the division is well deserved. I don't think that's a bad bet at all, especially with Seattle. You know, my home team coming in as an undercall. They just have too much that has to go right for them to win over 88.5 games. Now, the real interesting team in the West is the Angels, in my opinion, because they have Mike Trout, who's projected to put up 8.3 wins. So if you look at how my model is put together, 8.3 or more of their wins are based on one player. So if he goes down, that goes from an overcall to an undercall, and that's just 10-foot pole for me. The other thing with the Angels is their pitching staff's projected to be the worst in the division, which with some good offensive teams like the Rangers and the Mariners, that's just not going to work.
Yeah, that combination usually does not pan out to W's, and it certainly doesn't pan out to championships. All right, out of all of the AL, what would be your two strongest picks as far as team win totals for our viewers, Mark?
I would say Rangers under 84.5, just because their pitching staff is a little, I would say, shallow. They got Yu Darvish and Cole Hamels at the top of their rotation, and basically it drops off a cliff after that. And I could see, their fourth and fifth starters in the heat of August in Texas really struggling. So that was a very strong play in the West.
And you know what? With Texas, I have to agree, because Yu Darvish last year, he showed some signs of, he might be one of those injury-prone type of players.
Right, and my overcall, I would say, is the Yankees again. I don't like picking them, but now the public's just kind of forgot about them, and their over/under is 82.5. And they've got players like Ellsbury and Matt Holliday, who are ranked in their projection to only, contribute the sixth and seventh most offensive value in their lineup, which I think that seems pretty reasonable. So they have some, veteran players that aren't asked to do much. So, I mean, to be them a couple of games over 500 in that division, I don't see as a problem at all, and that would be my best bet in the AL, I think.
And that number was 82.5, correct?
82.5, and I think that came down from last year. I think it was 84 or 84.5 last year.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how Matt Holliday works out, and if there's another one, if that guy could just stay healthy for one full season, I'd like to see what the odds on that. So, all right, viewers, you heard it. That's Mark Lathrop, SaberMetrics, all right? He's knocking out of the park every single year with this system, so make sure you tune in to SBR, check out his articles and read it, and you're going to absolutely sharpen your tool for Major League Baseball. Mark, thanks for being with us. Look to doing some videos with you this season. Let's get it done, and let's cash those tickets.
Well, this episode of The Odds Couple is over. But if you give us a like and click SBR's logo at the bottom of the screen to subscribe, then you'll get all the upcoming videos as soon as they come out. And don't forget to take advantage of our website. There's free picks, live betting lines, and sportsbook reviews and ratings guides, and a whole lot more. Check it out now.